Any health-related information on the following show provides general information only. Content presented on any show by any host or guest should not be substituted for a doctor's advice. Always consult your physician before beginning any new diet, exercise, or treatment program.
In a world where Big Pharma writes the script, it's time to believe. Biohack. Become.
We're here to explore the truth about healing that exists outside the broken medical system, to give you the knowledge, the community, and the strategies you need to become the hero of your own health story.
Your guide is a biohacking entrepreneur, a near-death survivor, and a cancer warrior navigating his own healing journey. Founder of Biohackingville, Exodus Strong, and QE Strong. Your host, Rob Rene. This is Biohackingville, where the medical system has failed us. One man is leading the rebellion to reclaim.
Hey, and welcome to another fun episode of Biohackingville. Today is going to be a really fun one because it's, I believe the Lord has been training me on specific topics the last 5 years, and this one is near and dear to my heart. This is a very important part of the learnings that I have been researching and things that the Lord has just introduced me to. And it's about, this one is exciting because I'm terming it the fuel pillar of my book. I'm writing a book called The Light Code, and I'm excited to explain that to you. And we'll go through the book in one of our episodes. We'll walk through each of the pillars, but the fourth pillar, the third pillar, we're going to actually talk about today. So you're going to get a preview into this, and it's really important because fuel, as you know, is super important to our bodies, right? And our energy systems and so on and so forth. It's like God made this body so incredibly cool that it will heal itself, but it also needs a lot of resources in order to do that. And so the Lord, being such a great provider, he put a bunch of things on this earth for us to acquire and utilize as part of our journeys. And so that's what I've been having a blast learning is how can we take care of this temple. And with all the health issues I've had, it's like literally I end up having this major health issue, and I go down the research rabbit hole on how to help myself. And then, man, the things I learn is just absolutely incredible. And I sat back and looked at all the things that I've learned the last 5 years. I'm like, oh my gosh, he's taught me these incredible things. And I literally, after my latest health scare, I was just like, okay, he has me here for a reason. And since he does have me here for a reason, I need to help people. And so I was like, there's a reason why he taught me all these things, is not so that I could just keep them for myself and help myself, which I did, and I have. But at the same point, I really believe that he wanted me to share this with this information with the world. And so I'm super duper excited about where that is headed. And we'll talk about the light code. But I am going to show you, in fact, I forgot to add a couple of slides to this. I'm going to just go to my computer because I did not give these to you beforehand. So let's see. I'm going to present my screen. I'm going to do the entire share my screen. And I'm going to do this. No, that is not it either. I want the entire screen. That's why. I want this screen. All right. There we go. So can you see that screen there? Could we? Yeah, there we go. Perfect. Thank you. Let's look at this Biohackingville podcast. Today, we're going to talk about the Master Antioxidant, the fuel system, right? And how hydrogen and ancient herbs unlock what I call the healing code, right? It's your body's healing code, because like I mentioned earlier, God created this body to heal itself. which I think is super, really incredibly cool. But then what I did is I've been doing a lot of research, and I wrote this entire chapter in the book. It's called The Fuel Pillar, and this tool called Notebook LM. It's a really amazing tool. Created this short video, so I want to play this video because it does an incredible job of introducing this topic to you, and it's going to walk through the pillar and the details, and then we'll come back and I'll go through and actually share with you how to actually take some of these hydrogen products, and how do you get hydrogen in the body, what are the different ways you get hydrogen in the body, so on and so forth. So with that, I'm gonna play this. Here we go.
Back. So we've charged our cellular batteries with light, we've delivered healing instructions with frequencies, and now it's time for the third crucial pillar of healing, fuel. This is all about giving our bodies the absolute best, most pristine raw materials they need to rebuild, to regenerate, and to feel amazing. Okay, let's dive in. I want to start with a really big question for you. What if the most powerful medicine out there wasn't some complicated new drug, but was actually the simplest, most fundamental element in the entire universe? I mean, really think about that. What if you could put out the internal fires of chronic inflammation and just flip on your body's own master healing systems with something that's literally all around us? That's the huge idea we're going to unpack today. You know, so many of us get caught in this trap, right? Look at the left side there. That's the stimulant cycle. You're tired, you grab some coffee or an energy drink, you get that temporary boost, and then you crash harder than before. It's just a mask, a vicious cycle. But what if there's another way? That's the path on the right. This is about getting off that roller coaster and moving from just masking the problem to actually healing it at its source. It's about finding that real, clean, sustained energy that doesn't leave you drained. Okay, so to really grasp how this kind of deep healing works, we've got to first understand what we're up against. And deep down, at the cellular level, the real problem for so many of us is this kind of invisible fire that's raging inside our bodies. The scientific name for it is oxidative stress. I absolutely love this analogy. It makes it so clear. Think about your body's metabolism, how it creates energy, like a cozy fireplace. It's supposed to give you warmth and energy, right? But any fire creates sparks and embers, and sometimes those embers can pop out and burn the rug. In your body, those dangerous embers are called free radicals. They're these unstable little troublemakers that go around stealing parts from your healthy cells to try and balance themselves out. And when they do that, they damage everything. Your cells, your mitochondria, even your DNA. The whole mess, that chain reaction of damage, that is oxidative stress. And listen, this is not some minor issue we're talking about. We're talking about a process that has been linked as a common factor in, get this, over 200 different human and animal diseases. 200. That number is just staggering. And it really shows you how absolutely critical it is to get this internal fire under control. So the big question is, if we have this fire, how do we put it out? But here's the trick. How do we do it without also putting out the good fire, the one that gives us all our energy? Well, it turns out there's a kind of intelligent firefighter that can do just that. And its name is molecular hydrogen. You know, for decades, we've been told, take your antioxidants, vitamin C, vitamin E. And they're not bad, but they're kind of like a clumsy fire extinguisher. They just spray everywhere. Yeah, they put out the bad embers, but they can also soak the good fire, dampening our precious energy. But molecular hydrogen, or H2, is a total game changer. It's what's called a selective antioxidant. It's smart. It's that intelligent firefighter that goes in and only targets the most dangerous, destructive embers, leaving all the good stuff alone to do its job. And when I say it's precise, I mean it is incredibly precise. It has two main targets, the hydroxyl radical and peroxynitrite. Now, you don't need to memorize those names. Just know they are the absolute worst of the worst, the most toxic, cell-damaging free radicals in your entire body. So H2 doesn't just go in blasting everything. It's a sniper, not a bomb. It takes out only the bad guys. All right, so we've put out the most dangerous parts of the fire with our intelligent firefighter, but that's only step one, right? Now we have to repair the damage that was left behind. And that's where the second part of this amazing solution comes in. A team of what you could call sacred builders, made up of 7 powerful ancient botanicals. First up, we've got the cleanup crew. This is your wheatgrass and your barley grass. They are just packed with chlorophyll, which makes them amazing detoxifiers. So just imagine them going into your cells and cleaning up all the rubble and debris left over from that fire, getting the whole area prepped and ready for the real rebuilding to begin. Okay, the site is clean. Now we bring in the regulators, saffron and cumin. You probably know these as spices, but there's so much more. They're fantastic at calming down inflammation and just getting your metabolism back on track. And saffron, wow. Studies have shown it's a really potent natural mood booster, which is just an incredible bonus. And last, but definitely not least, we call in the heavy lifters, the master repair crew. You've got aloe vera, which is famous for being a master healer. It just helps your tissues repair themselves. And then you have frankincense and myrrh. These two are legendary. They are, without a doubt, two of the most powerful anti-inflammatory plants on the entire planet. They go to work silencing pain and putting a stop to that lingering inflammation. Okay, this is the part that gets me really excited, because these two things, the molecular hydrogen putting out the fires and these 7 botanicals rebuilding, they don't just work separately, they work together. It's this beautiful symphony of synergy where 1 + 1 doesn't equal 2, it equals like 10. The combined effect is just so much more powerful than either one on its own. So how does this synergy actually work? Well, it's like they have the keys to 2 of your body's most important master switches for healing. First, they flip the NRF2 switch on. Think of this as turning on your body's own built-in antioxidant factory. Then, at the very same time, they flip the NF-kappa B switch off. And that's the master switch that creates inflammation in the first place. So you see what's happening? You're turning your body's protection on and turning inflammation off. It's this simple, beautiful, and powerful 1-2 punch for healing. And this isn't just theory. You know, the results in people's real lives can be absolutely life-changing. Just listen to this from Rolisha B. She lived with chronic pain for 24 years. 24 years. And then, by giving her body this incredible fuel, the pain that was her constant companion, it started to fade away. She said she could live again. I mean, that's what it's all about, right? It just shows you the incredible power your body has to heal when you give it exactly what it needs. Okay, so we've talked about the what and the why. You get it. This is powerful stuff. But now you're probably wondering, okay, sounds great, but how do I actually do it? So let's get super practical. How do you bring this fuel pillar into your everyday life? Well, it's actually incredibly simple. It really boils down to a simple daily ritual. Just 2 steps. First thing in the morning, on an empty stomach, you have a morning elixir. Just mix 1 scoop in water. This is going to set you up for clean energy and focus all day long. Then, step 2. Take a second dose about 20 to 30 minutes before your biggest meal of the day. This acts like a pre-meal primer to get your digestion ready and cut down on that inflammation you can get after eating. That's it. It's not some huge complicated overhaul. It's just a simple, powerful habit. And all of this kind of leads to a much bigger, more profound question, doesn't it? Is nourishing our bodies a sacred act? When we stop just eating and we start consciously fueling our bodies with the best, purest, most powerful things from nature, does that simple act become something more? You know, you can almost see it as an act of worship, a way of honoring this incredible gift that is our body. And I think that's a really beautiful and powerful thought to end on.
All right. So wanted to walk through that with you because I think that's very, very important part of of this pillar 3. So we can put it back on me for a few minutes and we'll walk back through there. Let's see if I can do that here. Looks like I can't. So I'll go back and show you this again then. Is that showing? Yeah, it is. All right. So there are a couple of fun things I'm going to show you. We're going to talk about actually a couple of ways to get hydrogen in the body, right? So hydrogen is as obviously that video went through is amazing, right? It puts out those embers that are doing it, and it's really important. And why? But this other one I wanted to show you was there's 4 different ways to get hydrogen in the body. So let's walk through those because it's really important to understand, because hydrogen is amazing. So how do you get it in the body? And so the first one is you can inhale it. So you can go to a facility who has these hydrogen machines, and they're probably $3,000 or $4,000 at the facility, but you can rent it and you can get hydrogen through inhalation. So they put you up on a machine, and you connect it to your nostrils, and you inhale the hydrogen. Literally, H2 gas is inhaled through that nasal cranium, and it goes into the lungs, and so that does provide a fast systemic distribution and quick elimination. So blood concentration peaks rapidly, but also falls off quickly once the inhalation stops. So that is a good way. It's a direct way, but it's obviously hard to do, right? You have to find a place who has a hydrogen machine, and you have to go there, or you can spend thousands of dollars and buy a hydrogen machine, for your home. That's one way to do it. Another way is injecting it, and so you can literally do the saline injections, and you can inject it directly into the body. And who likes to get injections, right? Not I. So we try to avoid those, but that's more the clinical route that you can go, which is also another route. And another new route that's really interesting that's coming is this topical application. So you can absorb it through the skin or your eyes. So there's actually a number of facilities they're putting together these oxygen baths, where it's literally you bathe in the water, and your body absorbs the oxygen and the hydrogen from the water through your skin, just like a bath. And so that is another very, very healthy way to do it. But it also is, there's very few places to actually do it. I think they're opening one up in Las Vegas, and I'm hoping they're going to open up one here in Dallas. But that is another way to get it in the body. The most popular by far and the most convenient is this one over here. It's ingesting it, and then there's how do you ingest it? Most people do it through water, and so you can actually get hydrogen water, and then when you get hydrogen water, you drink the water, and it goes inside the stomach, and then your body absorbs it and assimilates it into your bloodstream. And there's an actually more interesting way that we have in our Exodus supplement, a magnesium blend in our capsules. So it's a capsule that when you take it, it goes into your stomach, and then when your stomach absorbs the nutrients, the magnesium, the patented magnesium blend, your body creates the hydrogen. So since your body's creating the hydrogen, it assimilates it right off the bat, right there inside your own body. Whereas the other ways, when you're doing it, when I'll actually show you this, I'm going to show you here in a second how you create hydrogen water. And so it's a little bit more difficult. And then when you do create it, you have to drink it immediately, or the benefits are not there. So I'm going to go back to my screen. Can you put me full screen? Want to show this. This is just a glass of water, and here is these. This is H2 tab. So give some shout outs to H2 tab. They're one of the providers. There's like 5 or 6 providers of these hydrogen tablets, and I believe we're going to also include these tablets in the future in my business. But right now, I'm just going to show you this because I actually I use molecular hydrogen often, but I don't do it with the tabs. And I'll show you how I use it here in a second. But you just take these little tabs, right? It's a little tab, and then you just plop it in to water. And now, look, it starts fizzing. Pretty cool, right? It's it's a process. And then the problem about this one is, as it's interacting with the water and it's fizzing and doing that, it's starting to create hydrogen. Okay. But the problem with hydrogen is it diffuses really quickly. But there's nowhere you can't drink this yet because it's not dissolved, right? So you have to sit there and wait for multiple minutes, and we'll do that. We'll let this dissolve, and then eventually I'm gonna drink that, and then we're gonna see how that does. Another mechanism, I'll see if this wasn't charged because I haven't used it for quite a while, but this is another way to do it, is through these hydrogen water bottles. There's a lot of these on the market, and they can become very expensive. They're $300 and some, a lot of them. But if you click on it, I don't know if you can see that blue. Yeah, you can at the bottom. So, and then you can see the actual bubbling. So this is creating hydrogen water now. So that's actually pretty cool because it's taking my normal nice. I have really nice filtered water, right? And then I am creating hydrogen here, and it's creating it. And then here we are still creating the hydrogen. I don't know if you can see the little tablet. There's the tablet. So the tablet's still, it's not even close to, halfway there. It's still got some time. So we'll let that one continue, and we'll let this guy continue, and we'll wait for that to happen. But the bad thing about both of these is once it does create the hydrogen, if you don't drink it right away, it starts diffusing, and it even diffuses as it goes down your esophagus and then gets into the stomach. And then once it's inside the stomach, then your body can assimilate it into the bloodstream. And it only is effective when it gets into the bloodstream. So I think that's another super important part. Okay, so then this is why we created with Exodus, this product that we created is a different mechanism. It's much more convenient because literally you take these, I'm opening it up and I'm getting a couple of capsules. And this capsule is a capsule. You can pull it apart. I could put the capsule on my tongue. But the interesting thing about this capsule is it has not only the molecular hydrogen blend, that magnesium blend I was telling you about, it has the 7 biblical herbs in it. Like the video was explaining, it's got barley grass and wheatgrass, right? That's the ones that really give you the chlorophyll in the body that really helps oxygenate the body and starts clearing out your cells. After the molecular hydrogen has cleaned it out, then those ingredients help. And then you get saffron, right? The great mood establisher. And then you get, like they said, frankincense and myrrh, the great master, inflammation supporting components. And then you add the aloe vera and the other ingredients inside Exodus, which is very, very helpful. But the cool thing about these is literally, you take it and you swallow it. I'm going to use a little bit of this water. It's still, my tablet's still not even, let's see if you can see that. Yeah, there it is. There's a tablet. So the tablet's still rolling around. I'm going to take some just so I can swallow my, wow, what I should have done is this one just finished. So this one just finished. So now, I don't know if you can see the water. It's a little bubbly on top. That's because this has hydrogen in it now. So this is good. But if I just let it sit here, it's already diffusing as it's sitting here. And so it's losing the hydrogen right now. And so I'm gonna drink this because I want to use the hydrogen. So and if I wanted all of that hydrogen, I would have to gulp all of it. I'd have to literally finish the entire thing, or it's just going to be useless because here in a couple of minutes, it's going to be basically useless. It's going to be water. Some water is really good for you, but it's not. There's no hydrogen advantage after a minute or two, or after a few minutes. So now I've got the capsules from Exodus that went inside my stomach. And then as my stomach digests that capsule, then the magnesium blend interacts with my stomach, and then my stomach creates the hydrogen, and then it gets into my bloodstream. So that's what's so so impactful and so cool. Okay, look, this one finally did. I don't know. That was probably what, 3 or 4 minutes, and it did finally dissolve. So now I literally need to drink this thing right away, or it's also going to diffuse. So the bummer thing about these is, gosh, you have to do them, and then you have to watch it, right? Because if you sit there and do something else and you start getting busy, you get on a phone call, or you start making yourself breakfast and you realize, oh shoot, I forgot to drink my hydrogen, then there's really no advantage to doing so. So there you go. Now I just took my H2 tab hydrogen. I'm going to have amazing energy within the body. And hydrogen, I'll show you some really cool sites to look at the benefits of hydrogen and why it's so important, and why I'm such a fan of hydrogen is because of the natural way that it does what it's supposed to do, right? As on this podcast, I interview a lot of holistic doctors, and the holistic doctors that I meet with, a majority of them tell me that inflammation is the source of all disease, not just some, but all. And so if we can, and like that video said, there's over 200 issues that that hydrogen can help with. So it's just a really, really, really important element that says, man, if you can figure out ways to get hydrogen in the body, you need to do it, right? You should do it. It's gonna be really good for your health. And that's some stuff that I just had no clue about just a number of years ago. And the Lord is so good that I was doing research on the biblical ingredients in the Bible, and was super excited about a lot of the ingredients. There's some amazing herbs and superfoods in the Bible, but I couldn't find anything that was like extra special, right? I wanted to find something that was really, really going to help people. And it was literally getting introduced to an amazing practitioner in California who was working on the molecular hydrogen component. And he and I came together. I brought my biblical herbs, and then he brought the molecular hydrogen, and we created Exodus, together. And that is the third pillar of my 4-pillar system is fuel, because your body needs fuel to operate. You need energy, but then you also need to get rid of and get that master antioxidant. I love how they term it. They call it the selective antioxidant. And that's really, really key to remember, because the selective antioxidant part of that means it's going to go in and be that sniper that it mentioned. It's going to go find the bad free radicals and get rid of them. And that is so important, because you don't want it to get rid of everything, because an antioxidants are great, but antioxidants can also get rid of the good. And so that's really bad, right? You don't want to get rid of the good things within your bloodstream. So hydrogen is the sniper, gets rid of the bad, and then it helps the mitochondrial process work even better. So that's why it's just so powerful. And I think that video does a fantastic job of explaining it, probably way better of explaining it than I do. But at least I wanted to show you the multiple ways to get hydrogen in the body, right? And so just to review them again, you can get an inhaler. You can go to a clinic. You can get on their inhaler, and you get the oxygen into your lungs, and it gets into the bloodstream quick that way, which is good. And then you can inject it, which don't recommend that highly. And I'm excited about the topicals, because the topical thing is actually really interesting. Over time, it might be really an applicable way. We have some skin patches in my business that help with certain health issues. And that would be interesting if we could find a way to deliver hydrogen via a patch instead of having to ingest a capsule. But man, we're finding so far that the capsule is by far the best delivery mechanism, because it works so much better than any other way. And it's so much more convenient, right? To and if you are the people, one of the people who don't like to take capsules, those capsules open up. So you can just open it up and put it in your smoothie, or you can put it in your water, or you can put it in, your morning drink that you're drinking. So anyway, we're pretty happy with the capsule. We'll probably keep it that way, but it is interesting. And then just with going through my cancer journey, it was intriguing to learn about hydrogen. And the doctors that I work with, my holistic practitioners, they literally have prescribed my product back to me. So it's really, really cool, right? And I work with these holistic practitioners who help me muscle test the supplements that I should be taking to help me fight my cancer. And the beautiful news is I am winning that battle. And I've trained my body to be, instead of a cancer producing machine, a cancer fighting machine. And so it's taken me a long, long time to get there. But man, it's amazing how this body works. And it's so fascinating to understand it and go through it. But, just they literally prescribed Exodus back to me. So I the recommended dose on the product is 2 capsules. And so you can take 2 capsules, and like the video recommended, you can take 1 in the morning and then 1 before your biggest meal. And that would be your 2. A lot of people will take 2 in the morning and then 2 before their biggest meal. And they're taking 4 capsules during the day. And so my brother, who uses the product significantly, he loves the product. He would have the afternoon crashes, and like I did. One of the things that's been such a huge benefit for me is I have a condition called bradycardia. So I had a really slow beating heart up until about 6 months ago. I finally got my heart fixed, and that's a whole nother story in and of itself that we'll probably go through at some point. But the cool thing about that is while I had bradycardia, when I was introduced to Exodus and molecular hydrogen, before I was introduced to Exodus, about 2:00 in the afternoon, almost every day, I mean, literally, it was like clockwork. I needed to go take a nap because I wasn't getting enough oxygen inside the body. And I would literally get so exhausted, I'd have to go take a nap. And my wife was just like, oh, it's 2:00, right? He must be, taking a nap. And it was just so frustrating. Like I was in my 50s. I'm like, come on, right? I got to go take a nap. I felt like an old fart. Really, really frustrated me. But then when I started taking Exodus, it gives you sustained energy. So it's not like you're taking an energy drink and all of a sudden you get a big boost, and then all of a sudden you get this crash that comes with caffeine or comes with those energy drinks. You get this nice, smooth, sustained energy, and you just don't get tired like you did. So that's what happened to me is, man, I didn't have to do that afternoon nap anymore. It's so free and so awesome. And my brother is similar. He is a minister, and he would be studying the Bible, and he'd get so frustrated because he would start nodding off as he's studying, and he's trying to have this faith-based conversation with the Lord and study and pray, and he'd just get exhausted. And so he takes Exodus for that. So, and that's been fun for him. I could go on. There's so many stories of our customers who are so excited about the product because of those herbs and superfoods that give them the nutrients that they're missing, and then gives them the hydrogen throughout the day. So that's why this fuel pillar is so incredibly important as for your health, and why I believe that the Lord has me, talking about this, and why I've written the book is just to help you understand the importance of hydrogen. Because once you look at it, once you do the research behind it, and then you're just like, well, then why not? Why do I not have it? There's like nothing negative about hydrogen that I've found, and that is bad for people. And so I haven't found anybody that's allergic to hydrogen, right? And hydrogen is God created. It's like literally the first element on the periodic table, right? It's the smallest element in the world. And so I wanted to actually show you a couple of slides that talk about that and why, because I think it's really, really important, because you start thinking about hydrogen and how small that is, then the reason why that's really important when you get it into the human body, how it can navigate within your bloodstream. And then when it gets into the bloodstream, how does it do that selective antioxidant, right? How does it be that sniper? How does it go find things? And then on the other side, I mentioned about the way that it will help your mitochondrial process work better. You're like, okay, what does that mean? So I wanted to walk through a couple of slides that I think will show you that. So let me go back in and show you a couple of these slides. And I think it's in this one. Here it is. All right. So molecular hydrogen, the universal bioptimizer. And so what this is saying is, here's your cells, and it literally goes through and cleans out, gets rid of all this junk, right? And helps clean it out. Whoops, I went the wrong way. And then the permeability advantage. This is what I was trying to explain. The cool thing about it being so small is it literally can go through the cell membrane. So see how small this great picture in here, because these little blue dots are the hydrogen. So the molecular hydrogen can go through the cell membrane and get into your cell, and then guess what? Start helping that mitochondria. And when it helps the mitochondria, that's where it does all the benefits. And so if you look at another very, very important factor is it crosses the blood-brain barrier. And you're like, okay, what does that mean, right? But the blood-brain barrier is very, very important for people's health, especially as you start looking at the cognitive abilities of anybody, of people, of as you age, right? That's one of the things that people from an anti-aging perspective are like, how do I help my brain be better? How do I give it the right nutrients? How do I not lose the memory that I have? And so the brain is super, super important. And the beautiful thing about molecular hydrogen is since it is so small, it does cross the blood-brain barrier. And so it'll get into your brain as well. And it helps the mitochondria process even inside your brain. So it helps all the way through the body. But I think that's just a really, really important process, because a lot of other things, a lot of other products and a lot of nutrients even, they cannot cross the blood-brain barrier, where molecular hydrogen does, which I thought was super, super cool. We talked about the scavenger, how it goes and acts as a scavenger to get rid of those hydroxyl radicals, right? That I think is really, really important. And the selective scavenging, I think, is a really, really big piece. We talked through these, right? The inhaling it, orally, injecting, doing a topical, and then the nanotech is the one, the future targeted stuff that I don't even want to touch, right? I don't want this mRNA, this stuff. So I'm going to be avoiding those. But here's a good example of the inhalation route, right? How you can do it and ways to do it. Whoa, sorry. And then the oral one, we talked about that. The magnesium reaction, that's what that's doing. Those bubbles, right? That I showed you. And that's what your stomach does in your stomach. So that's what our product does inside the stomach, which I thought was pretty cool. And then this is how it helps the gut, right? So it gets into the gut and just helps your whole body, right? Which is really, really, really cool. Or you can inject it right with the saline bath. And then here's the topical ones. So this dressing one, I think, is really actually fascinating, that you could potentially put it on a patch and get it in. You can do eye drops, and then you can actually do like the bath. That I was telling you. I'm not going to touch the nanotech stuff in the future, that's for sure. So that was one thing I wanted to show you, and then there was a couple of slides in here that I wanted to show you. I thought was really cool as well. So this is what I'm developing, right? This light code system is the architecture for healing, right? It literally is light and red light therapy and the sunlight, and then frequency therapy, and then we're talking about the fuel pillar today, right? And so excited about that. We talked about these already. One of the things I wanted to show, yeah, this is a good one, just to talk about those other components and ingredients that are part of the fuel system are the cleansers, right? The barley grass and wheatgrass are those cleansers, the chlorophyll plant and and detoxifiers. So it's helping detox your bloodstream and cleansing your bloodstream. In addition to the selective antioxidant that the hydrogen does. And then you get the healer, right? You get the I call that, even though I think I don't like the word healer very well, because I think God is the only one that heals, right? But he made his body to heal itself. So what we're doing is aloe vera is one of the plants within our product that does amazing stuff. It's like literally the plant of immortality, people call it, which is pretty neat. And then the protectors, right? You talk about frankincense and myrrh and saffron. And then the optimizers, the golden spices. The golden spices, that's the saffron. And so you just really, really neat components that really help the thing. It talks about what frankincense and myrrh. Well, how does that help, right? How does aloe vera help? How does that help with the inflammation and immunity? The inflammation is, again, that source of all disease, which I think is important. The saffron is so good for the mind. There's so many people that are stressed out and anxious, and saffron is literally clinically proven to help with those conditions, which is really, really cool. And cumin and the grasses are really good for your gut health. So you just look at the way that those add up. It's a molecular hydrogen and those botanicals together. Like, I love this analogy, is 1 + 1 + 1 is 10. It's not just 3. It does so much for the human body. So those are the couple of things I wanted to explain that I thought was really, really cool. And then I think this one had another slide or two that I thought I wanted to share. If I can get this one going. Yeah, here's the energy example, right? So you take an energy drink, or you take caffeine, right? I used to get a 4-shot latte every morning, but before I started taking Exodus, I would get a 4-shot latte every morning. Then I would need one to get about that 2 o'clock again. So I would go try to find another source of caffeine about 2 o'clock just to sustain me through the rest of the day. But now with this sustained energy, I don't have the super spike, and then I don't have the crash. And that's what's so important about this. And you just feel so much better. I love it. Let's see. Yeah, that's the stuff I wanted to walk through today. I wanted to walk through those. So go ahead and put me back on the screen. And so the fuel system, right? The fuel pillar, as I call it, is a very, very important part of your health. And it's something I'm very stoked about. And we as a company, what I'm going to be doing with Biohackingville, as well as the community, as well as Exodus Strong, my company, the Exodus Strong. We have these red light therapy products, and we have these frequency products, and we have the hydrogen products and the pillar that we're just talking about, which we're really fun and exciting and helping people. And then we have a fate pillar that we'll talk about. It really talks about the whole mind, body, spirit connection and why that is so important to your health, because it's really, really important about believing that you can be healed. There's a lot of research even on on the human body and the human brain and how powerful it is to control your human body. So I wanted to walk through those. There are 3 different websites that I wanted to share with you. So if you are interested in just researching hydrogen, I think it's very, very important that you understand these 3 websites. So I'm going to take you real quick, go back to my computer, and I'm going to show you 3 different places to go. So let me make sure you can see me. Go back to my computer, please. Can you present those? Or do I need to present them here? Okay, there we go. Sorry. Perfect. All right. So this first one is hydrogenstudies.com. So hydrogenstudies.com is incredible. There's literally 1,300 studies that have been done on hydrogen. So I love to go here because you can search for just looking at what the most recent studies are, featured studies. You can look at cancer studies, studies on the brain, all the studies done in the U.S., et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. I just went up and did, okay, let's just do inflammation, because inflammation, again, is something that we talk about a lot and is the source of a lot of people's health issues and or a lot of people that have inflammation, they're hurting, right? So they're aching or they have pain because of that inflammation. So it's important. So anyway, just go to this site and you type in inflammation in the search bar, and then it will search and find all the studies that out of those 1,300 that are related to inflammation. Then you can literally go in and change the year, what the outcomes are, which countries it was done, even what body parts that you want to focus on. So you could do inflammation in the brain or inflammation in the heart or et cetera, which I thought was really, really cool. And then you can just go look at these studies. So this was published in 2023. Hydrogen attenuates inflammation by inducing early M2 macrophage polarization in skin wound healing. So it's fascinating to see the benefits of this hydrogen in healing. And so you literally, there's so many benefits, like just hundreds of them that we can walk through. So that's why I'm just so passionate about this, is because of how incredibly powerful the product is in helping people. So Hydrogen Study just is a great place to go. Lots of helpful information there. And then the second one is called molecularhydrogenstudies.com. So the first one was hydrogenstudies.com, and the second one is molecularhydrogenstudies.com. And molecularhydrogenstudy.com, you can go in and you can search for it. I already went in and said, okay, let's do autoimmune as the search. So I just had that pre-set up. You can do a search for that, and then it's going to give you all the results of the molecular hydrogen studies that are part of this website, because this is a premier resource on hydrogen research. And this one now is showing me all the studies that were related to autoimmune diseases. So you can say, look, hydrogen for skin autoimmune disorders. Hydrogen-rich water improves neurological functions, and then you can just go so on and so forth. There's so many neat things that you can do, and here it shows you all the animal studies, and you can go through and the human studies, and here's 5 different studies on humans and cancer, right? So these are the ones that I dug into. I'm like, wow, how does hydrogen help against lung cancer, and how does it help with other things? And it was just fascinating to me to see how important hydrogen was to the human body. And I'm like, okay, is this woo-woo stuff, or is this real science? And as I was doing the research, I found this Molecular Hydrogen Institute. So you can go to molecularhydrogeninstitute.org. So it's a long URL, but molecularhydrogeninstitute.org, and you'll find the Molecular Hydrogen Institute. So it's literally an institution that is there. It's a nonprofit, I believe, and they do research, and they do topics and talks all across the world, actually globally, talking about molecular hydrogen. And there's great research here, and there's a bunch of scientific studies. So you can go and look and say, look, what are all the studies related to bone health or brain, right? We talked about that in the crossing the blood-brain barrier and why it's so important. Or how does it help with the liver? How does it help with the lungs? How does it help with cancer? And so I just wanted to share those with you because I think it's important. So again, to summarize it, molecularhydrogenstudies.com is one, hydrogenstudies.com, and then molecularhydrogeninstitute.org. And those three sites are just incredible places for you to go and see. So wanted to just, we're running out of time, but so I wanted to just thank you for everything. And wanted you to just know that if you have breath in your lungs today, God has a plan for your life. So I want you to believe, I want you to biohack, and I want you to become. Remember, if you have air in your lungs today, God has a plan for your life. Believe, biohack, become.
Don't forget to subscribe so you never miss an episode. Join the community and get the show notes at biohackingbill.com. Follow us on all social media platforms at biohackingbill. Until next time, believe, biohack, become.